Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I wanted to talk about what do I expect from the New Orleans Pelicans this offseason. And this offseason is an interesting one because they have a lot of decisions to make. So, the New Orleans Pelicans are a team that the general manager is our guy, David Griffin, who, he honestly was the guy who was crying uh, when he won his first NBA championship because he lost his joy of winning or something like that. But either way, that's not what the video is about. I want to talk about what's their offseason plan, especially with Zion Williamson asking to win now. Can this team beat this year's Atlanta Hawks? That's what I've been saying all year. And when we look at the salary situation, the guys that are leaving are James Johnson, Lonzo Ball's a restricted free agent, and so is Josh Hart, Willie Hernan Gomez, and James Nolan. So James and Willie Hernan Gomez will walk. I want them to bring back James Johnson because he was a legitimate beast for them last year when he got traded there. Okay, for the Pelicans, he averaged like 25 minutes a night. Shot 43% from the field and shot 26% from three. But he was like grabbing like 4 rebounds, 9 points, and getting a block. I don't know. I thought he was a really good energy guy off the bench. He was really fun. I would love for them to bring out Lonzo, but I don't know if they'll be able to. So at least Josh Hart. But then the round out, it's Diddy, Nanji, Wenyan Gabriel, Wesley, Nikel, Alexander Walker, Kira Lewis Jr., Jackson Hayes, Zion, Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe, and Brandon Ingram. If they can get rid of Eric Bledsoe, that'd be fantastic. I don't know who's going to take up that contract, but Steven Adams isn't bad. So when we look at here, Van Gundy's gone, and Jacques Vaughn and Charles Lee are among the candidates getting the most consideration. And when we look at the draft, I think they should take Franz Wagner I think Franz Wagner is who I would want them to take to offer that the 3-point shooting that they desperately need. Like, this is a team that they need a shooter, and that's why they had JJ Redick. And this team needs to surround Zion with two things: shooting and defense. Wagner's defensive IQ would be a huge help next to Williamson and Brandon. Plus, he's 6'9", so if you believe in his jumper long term, as I do, then he would be a perfect fit for this duo. Okay, Franz Wagner, right there, is good. Okay, and I think he could have a good potential. Now, when we look at this, the Knicks are somebody that could take ball from the Pelicans, but I think they should get rid of Bledsoe. And I know that's harder than said. Like, they need shooters, okay? They were 26 in three-point shooting, just shooting 34.8%, and they were also 25th in attempts. So if they can get a guy like Doug McDermott, that'd be awesome. Plus, they need higher basketball IQ. There's just a lot. They blew 14 games this past year, in which they led by double digits at one point, and then they melt down. They just need veteran guys who have won before and high basketball IQ. So James Johnson, another guy that I believe that they should keep, and look for players who can come in and make an impact. And supposedly Joshua Primo has flown up the boards. I don't believe that he's gonna go or they're gonna bite on him, but I think this offseason is very, very interesting because what they're going to be left with going into it is about almost $21 million in cap space. So they have, and if they can get rid of Bledsoe, they could even have more. So obviously finding a reliable third option would be incredible. Nickeil Alexander Walker is awesome, but if they try to find a guy like Malcolm Brogdon, who seems like could be moved easily, he would, I think, be a great fit for this team and somebody that a lot of people would get around. And we don't know who is going to go or stay, in a sense. It comes down to the coach. Like James Johnson, I want them to stay. Willie Hernan Gomez, I'm not a fan of him. Plus, like Jackson Hayes and Steven Adams, it just makes no sense for them to keep. Josh Hart, I think it's 50-50. Like, Josh Hart deserves a raise, and I could see a team like the Detroit Pistons outbidding them for Josh Hart. And Lonzo Ball, I really would love to see him going at $20 million, and I think that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna just see Lonzo get paid, and we can't do anything about it. Now, I'm a big fan, and I always have been a big proponent of, you know, our guy Jackson Hayes. I like the idea of Jackson Hayes, Zion Williamson, Franz Wagner, you know, Brandon Ingram, Nickel Alexander Walker, and maybe a point guard sharing the floor. Obviously, that's a lot, but if they could sign Lonzo and trade Eric Bledsoe, that would be interesting. I mean, sharing not Expro, Bledsoe would be hard. I mean, they have keeping Lonzo, keeping with Nickel Alexander Walker, Kira Lewis Jr. I love NWA, not NAW, NWA. Uh, I just don't know if Lonzo is worth keeping. He's just expensive. But guys that Eric Bledsoe could be traded for, Lou Dort, I think you would have to give up so much. Luke Kennard's another guy. Again, you'd have to give up so much. And Buddy Hield, dude, three guys that they could go for. It's just that you're gonna have to give up so much for those guys. Like Lou Dort, unreal is the least realistic because he has a lot of potential. Buddy Hield, you probably just need to give some protected first round picks, and they'll be like, hey, we'll probably do that. But Luke Kennard is another guy that their salaries match up, and he has the 3-point shooting, but he's not going to help their defense. So, yeah, he'll help the shooting. Buddy Hield's the same thing. He's better defensively than our man is. So, Buddy Hield was actually drafted by the Pelicans and then was part of the Boogie Cousins trade, which is crazy. So maybe he actually ends up coming back. He's a better 3-point shooter, but he's not going to help him that much on defense. Now, Lou Dort is going to help him much with 3-point shooting, but he's going to help him stupendously with, defense. And defense is probably one of the most important things for this team, along with 3-point shooting. That's really the two things, okay? And some people are dying like Josh Giddey, but I think there's just a lot of options right here, and I think they need to go like Atlanta Hawks and just go full court press on trying to find talent to put around this team and try to become winners sooner rather than later. This is what I think or what I would do. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. What would you guys do? But yeah, that's basically it for me, guys. A little 8-minute video. I think this team has the potential, if they make the moves correctly, to go out and sign a bunch of veteran free agents and just add defense and shooting, and they'll be a playoff team. And they're also in a position that they could fuck this up real hard. But if they do it right and play their hands well, they could be a really good team for the next few years. Let me hear your thoughts down below, guys. Peace out.